the reason why employment is better than just income support is because people want employment. When you look at survey after survey after survey, when you ask them what would you like, income or job, they overwhelmingly prefer employment. The second reason is because poverty is much more complicated. It's not just the absence of income. You know, most people just stop there. You know, they realize that on the surface, somebody needs to spend and, you know, have some income to feed themselves. But as a practical reality, the economy works in such a way that people get empowerment, recognition, opportunities, connections, and contacts, all the things that are necessary for a person to build their economic life, to start growing their wealth and assets. It happens through paid employment. And so if we're serious about, you know, finding a structural solution to the multifaceted aspects of poverty, we can't stop at income alone. So the job guarantee is, well, the direct solution. If the market does not provide enough jobs, enough employment opportunities, then the public sector can. And at the same time, we do know that there are social needs that are unmet. So we can put 2 and 2 together. We can match these 2 problems, you know, put the unemployed to some employment for the public good, but also that is a policy of a, you know, macro policy, macro stabilization policy. You have a job-led solution. You know, today what we do is we do stimulus, we do incentives, we do many, many programs, all in the name of job creation. But we're missing the most obvious, most straightforward solution, just providing directly the employment opportunities.
What kind of job exactly will the state guarantee?
In my proposal, these will be public service jobs. I think the first thing is we got to recognize that the public sector is responsible for unemployment and for poverty. Whether we see that or not, it is still the public sector that deals with the fallout of unemployment. The state that provides the income support, that deals with poverty alleviation, but also with the destitution in our communities, right, that unemployment brings about. So the public sector is responsible. The public sector already spends the money. And if we are to employ public funds to employ the unemployed, then the obvious type of employment would be in the public service, doing the sorts of things that are under provisioned by private market forces. Environmental work is the most obvious and kind of urgent employment area that doesn't have an obvious commercial return, doesn't have obvious profitability from employment, and yet it has to be done. It's very important. So putting the unemployed to do environmental remediation, dealing with climate challenges, I think is the way to go.
Here, social movements also propose the construction of homes, big plans of housing plans, and that crosses us with a problem, which is if these employment plans absorb some workers who previously had traditional private jobs and with contract wages, would it not imply lower wages in the formal sector, a plan like this?
Not necessarily. Of course, it depends on what the public sector pays. But let's just back up a step and try to distinguish between 2 goals. You know, housing is an important goal. It's an important social goal. And if it is the social objective to eradicate homelessness, then we need to do what is necessary to build the homes. So that does mean public investment. If that means, competing for some construction workers, it is part of the social project. Of course, we're not proposing that these should be low-paid jobs. And at least in the developed world, these are prevailing wages, they are skilled wages. So that is not what the job guarantee is. The job guarantee is really a policy that provides employment for the unemployed. There may be many other social goals, strategic goals, eliminating hunger, homelessness, providing healthcare. These are in the purview of the public sector for their other benefits alone. But what I'm suggesting is we need to carve out a program, an additional program that also provides on demand, directly, employment opportunities for people who come in because unemployment has such devastating effects on the person, on the family, on the community. And so creating employment with the people in mind is what the job guarantee is. And then we are really talking again about the sorts of things that the private sector doesn't typically do. And, you know, small infrastructure projects, care projects, environmental projects, even basic sanitation, which, as we have discovered in the pandemic, is essential. It's absolutely our lives depend on it, and it's critical. So we can't think of jobs as unproductive in these sense. We need to recognize that the green jobs, climate jobs, they're actually very important, that can be done with all skill level by anyone who can participate in that kind of public project.